The person asking for Magadai in my chat is about to be disappointed because Killjadi likes winning. Welcome back to the Red Bull Wololo El Reinado action, folks. Game number 5, a deciding game here between Killjadi and CSO in an elimination series. The winner keeps their dreams alive of making it to the grand finals in Spain later this year. The loser, back to the drawing board. Maybe it's time to pick up Stormgate. And this is a brutal one. We've got Mongols versus Byzantines. It's already a Mongol-favored matchup, but even more when you consider the map. We're in Frisian Marshes, a fantastic map for Silvertree, and a ginormous question mark to a Byzantine pick. I'm not really sure what you do here with Biz. I guess you have to try and fast castle into Masvarangian. Like, the one upside you get from this map is you will end up with a lot of sheep, so you can afford a Varangian spam. You're basically playing an Achery Burgrave-esque build. But it feels less impactful than a Burgrave build. So we'll have to see which way CSO wants to play it. Scan comes out, and with a double gold spawn forward here, it is going to be the Rax opener, and it looks like CSO took the greedy pattern. Check his resources. He didn't gather the wood to go for an outpost defense. He didn't gather the wood to go for a Rax, which means he's only getting limited gold, and is going to be forced to play Age 2. Oof, not ideal. And even less ideal is this timing. CSO, he pulls the villagers onto the berries early. Luckily, he stops quickly. Remember, the increased gathering rate only kicks in when the Grand Winery is online and you've got the aura. So he kind of missed out on a little bit of extra food there. Or rather oil. But Grand Winery now coming in. That's at least not deniable, but I think Killjadi's actually quite happy if he just gets an outpost drop here. Money camp is going to be denied in time. Wait, Oh. CSO didn't know us. That was a completely pointless delete, guys. The mining camp was already hit by the Khan. Look at the gold. That was quite the fumble, because now it means he can harass the berries instead of having to camp the mining camp to destroy it. So now you just get kind of extra value out of this spearman than you should have had. Yeah, dude. Not the kind of mistakes you want to have in the deciding game here. It seems small and petty, but small details make the difference in these type of games. An outpost drop now going to be prioritized on the berries. Well, he saw it, right? But you can't pull villagers here. I guess you could go for the Akratoid defense, but it's only 30 seconds. Fair to say that this is a pretty bad situation. Killjadi being allowed to get the deeper outpost means he can build a second one on the retreat on the gold if he chooses. He kind of has all the options here. Maybe the idea is to pull the villagers towards the end of the build, but I think that's way too risky. It just seems like CSO is forfeiting his berries. This is pretty brutal, guys. With the gold being forward spawning, you can't now just go into gold and get blacksmith techs into siege to clear it. So he's going to have to go Limitane opening, right? And considering Killjadi's timing is pretty good to go for a tech up, I think he misread the gold situation. Like, he didn't need this many people on it. It might be that he's thinking about immediate Silvertree trade. I feel like if you keep 3 people on gold here, you should be immediately opening with a trader or 2. I wonder if going blacksmith tech feels a little bit better fast, but I think actually the best play would probably be to get your hands on the double broadaxe and start pumping archers, because you should know your opponent is going to try to go Limitane at some point. Weirdly enough, though, it's actually going to be an archer opening from CSO. So I guess this is to defend the gold and stop a second outpost from occurring. However, it does feel a little bit weird with an outpost already being here and your berries being blocked for you to not open Limitane. Yeah, this kind of reeks of CSO trying to get one step ahead, but doing so early that Killjadi now has a natural transition. He's on a map with a good trade route. He's gone Silvertree. These are the type of games where you can just easily go into Keshiks. And when your opponent opens archers like this, you're duly inclined to do so. With all the AOM I've been playing recently, just hearing Malister is... I'm just going to say it. I don't care that the guy's like 15 years older now. They should have hired the original Age of Mythology actor to do the Byzantine lines. Malister. Okay, so the question mark now is, with your opponent going Archer Limitane, he's actually going to go Archers, okay? I did wonder if maybe he was going to try to be greedy with the Keshiks, but I guess if you're not going to immediately start building traders, then going Keshiks is very expensive here. Archer is just also more cost efficient. The thing I like about Archer openings instead of Keshik openings in Feudal is you get more bang for buck out of the double production, right? You get more entities and you pay a low price. Because remember, you're going to pay 80 stone per, whereas Keshik's for double pump is 200. So Keshik's as an opening makes more sense when your opponent has exposed Eco in the map, right? When you're talking about a map like Frisian Marshes, because it's such a defensive format, it's very hard for a double Keshik pump to get much value unless your opponent is attacking you. Farms added in very early here. Kind of rough that you're playing on a map like Frisian, you have to go for farms this early. Also, the Ford Berry is very risky. It's at least going to be an outpost to defend. And remember, because he's got the stone being added whenever he builds structures, you can afford the emplacements. I love that from Killjoy as well. He's trying to get cute here. He's trying to auto-aggro the Limitane, hoping that CSO won't notice, and then he'll pull him towards the outpost. In fact, it might work. Oh, okay. That was really important because when you keep attacking the same target, the alert doesn't keep coming. After a while, it stops. Right? That change was made a while back. So if you keep doing this, eventually your opponent just won't be paying attention, and you get a chance to yoink them in range. Which is important here because, as we can see, that's the single sole Spearman defender. It's the only front line that CSO has right now. Trade has begun, guys. Second trader now being added in. And this is kind of a problem, right? Like, the gold isn't being rushed. The food isn't exactly safe. Rushing castle feels a bit weird here. So we're probably looking at attack timing. With your opponent massing archers like this, I think javelins just might be the right call. Lombos make sense when you're defending, but I don't think you can just camp and go castle here, because the trade will get too big. The truth is at least approaching. Depressingly slowly, by the way. Remember, usually the thing that makes Byzantines look really broken is their timing on their first and second contract pull of mercs, because the Grand Winery gets them there so quick, right? But because he was forced off of that, he's only getting the 50% rate, which is still really bloody good. But compared to, was it, I think it ends up being like 84%, 86%, 82%, I think it was. Yeah, it's ridiculous how much quicker. Like for every, so you're missing out an extra free for every drop-off, right? Extra free olive oil for every drop-off. Adds up fast when you got like 10 villagers doing it, right? So pretty late timing in mind here. Oh, he actually went Western. Okay, so he's just defending then. I don't think you come out of the base with Western contract. I get what CSO is trying to do here. This was a really popular strat against like Delhi players where you would frontline archers and build lombos behind. The logic being your archers are a pseudo frontline, right? I just don't think that works very well against archers into delayed Keshik. You need to add Limitane as well. But the problem is, because your opponent is adding so many archers, the Limitane aren't going to last long. Gold also has now been denied. And so is the Berry Mass. And keep in mind that outpost is still up. So you've gone Western contract, and you can afford one group of Lombos. Not ideal. Archers now begin to dive in. Attack speed arrow was already activated. And Blacksmith Tech's on the way in. Steeled arrow is coming in soon. Difficult situation here for CSO, and kind of on the clock, right? Silver Tree trade is escalating. We're up to 4 now. Another one will start to get those extra layers in, those extra incomes. Outpost also now on the way on the front side as Kiljadi pulls the village across map. And keep in mind, although you've got emplacements here, the Spearman numbers are starting to escalate. It looks like he spotted the stables. How many sheep have we got to work with? I mean, 21's pretty decent here, but getting scouted at the beginning of a stable transition doesn't feel great. And because you're limited on your olive oil, you also can't counter mass spearmen with lombos. Damn, dude, Kiljadi's timing is really frustrating on this map. I think he's one of the most annoying Mongol players we currently have for Frisian. That's saying something. It's kind of important as well. It kind of fits that Kiljadi loves playing Mongols because, for me, good Mongol players are identified by their ability to make the game uncomfortable. You have to make the game uncomfortable because like, you don't really have any eco benefit on its own to work with. Silver Tree takes too long to scale, right? You have to defend it. And I think, like, if I had to choose a civ that kind of fits Kiljadi's playstyle, I think Mongols leans heavily into that. He likes playing with tempo. He likes to make the player uncomfortable. And this is a civ that directly benefits from doing so, right? Like, that burn down there just paid him to do it. March now coming in. Nice use of the movement speed arrow. Gets him in the gap close on top of the Lombos. And keep in mind that those are fragile and also limited. Only 3 of them remaining. Spearman able to push the Horseman away. And a big issue right now. I'm not sure why, but we haven't got a Blacksmith drop coming yet. Even though it's 20 archers and you see that you're up against the Steeled Arrow. That feels like a little bit of a blunder. CSO's in a panic mode, right? Just trying to add in more units. But he's forgetting that Blacksmiths has a very high value point here. And you haven't got anything else to do with this resource, right? Like, bare minimum, you'd expect it to at least be double Broadaxe. I feel like what happened here is CSO had a plan for Castle Age and got caught in the middle of it. And now he's trying to change the strategy. And it's a big deal in this situation, right? Like, you could have actually got more archers than your opponent with Broadaxe, because your opponent doesn't have it, right? And wood is definitely worth investing in because it's the one safe resource you have in this game. It accelerates your archer count, it accelerates your olive grove count. It does everything for you in this game, but it just feels like CSO whiffed a little with that detail. And I'm worried, like, usually with these type of things, the longer you don't notice it, the less likely you are to notice it. Especially in a game where he's been gold-starved. By the time he gets back on gold, like, say 3 minutes from now, that's like, what, 6 minutes missed on Ecotech. It definitely would have returned its value, especially when you consider you've got like 20 on wood, 20 on gold, 20 on food, rather. Blacksmiths really paying off here. Killjadi has everything he needs. Siege also able to deal with the outposts. I don't know, man. I haven't seen a single move from CSO that convinces me he has control of this game, or even hope for it. Outpost blocker is pretty cool from Killjadi, just to make sure his opponent stays honest and stays in his base. That's a big deal as well. Like, this is very tempting to come out to. And it's kind of connectable for a system play. Horsemen have at least peeled. Okay, so this is what we needed from CSI. When you go Horsemen, you can't just sit at home. They need to do things. Problem is, it's only 3 Horsemen. Trade count is still, what, 4? And Keshiks are now reacting. Meantime, Archer count still in favor of Killjadi. Steeled Arrow is finally on the way. Took a while, but we're finally getting techs out of the Byzantines. Ram goes after the Cistern as well. Archer count is pretty thick here. This is a pretty desirable dive. Remember, you've got the +2 damage difference. You have the armor as well as the damage. Your opponent has neither. But Steeled Arrow did just come in, so Killjadi is going to show a little bit of respect here and will back up. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Horsemen still finding some decent value, but that should be coming to an end now. Spearmen, Keshiks, finally on the way. Don't know what this guy's planning to do. Ooh, attack speed arrow gets activated. CSO doesn't pull back. Big mistake made. Hangs around for the fight, feeling like he had control. Killjadi getting the archer edge on the offensive again, pushes him back off the gold at a critical point there. Yeah, I think CSO was too romanticized to the idea of getting his hands on extra gold there. Cost him dearly. That's another mining camp that's just going to be payday, right? Killjadi once again getting paid to destroy these buildings. Double damage on the foundations as well. Archer trade out comes in again. At least don't have to worry about the attack speed arrow. They both do have their blacksmith techs, but at this stage, look at the numbers. 27 versus 30. More coming behind this. Killjadi yet to reveal the Keshiks, but they're finally going to spring the assault. And the drawn fire is going to be the difference maker here. What would have been an even fight starts to get a little bit messy. CSO will be able to push it away for the moment. But the gold is still a really big blocker here. Credit to him, CSO now does have Archer Mass, but I believe that's because we've got additional traders coming in. Yeah, 6 now, and also shift over to fishing. This is probably the one moment where CSO can make a move, and I feel like he's going to choose to go for tech. But that might be a mistake. I mean, that was a good initial fight, right? Like, Killjadi definitely got sprayed down there. The Keshiks were a little bit late arriving. The best move right now, I'd say, for CSO in this game would be to just kind of reinvest in Feudal. I'm hoping this gold secure is simply to get the techs, because if we do see him... No, not this again. If we do see him going for castle, I think he'll just die. Get sniped down there. That was 3 worker kills though, right? Yeah, keep in mind with the Akrotoy, you do 2 less damage than you would with torches. So it's pretty rough. And also, your attack speed is worse with the Akrotoy, if I remember correctly. So it's not ideal. She's now in position though. If it feels like I'm doing CSO a disservice here, don't mistake it for that. These are really good holds by him. The problem that I'm seeing in this game, though, is long-term food access. He's at least got the Grand Winery berries. I think what he needs now, go up to 15 longbows and play. The problem right now is he needs to read the Limitane player ahead of time. If he doesn't, the Keshiks will just win this. Also, keep in mind with an outpost close to the front line, if you're fighting over the berries, the Keshiks do get the movement speed. Yam is already always default there for Cav. It's the infantry that require the Deer Stone. Or the Castle Age tech. And looks like we have got that castle play. CSO, this is what worried me. Keshiks are starting to move in. Walls are coming up. But check this timing. Villagers going for the wall up as the archers shift away. Distraction coming in here, and the timing might be perfect. Kiljardi moves in with the Keshiks. Wall stay open. Villagers have to migrate the area. Archer mass is at least now reacting. Fortifications are coming in. Good read by CSO. At least able to get back across in time. Villagers will get the wall up, but I mean, realistically, this doesn't protect much, right? It's going to be a full Olive Grove transition while teching. Kiljardi, meanwhile, about to go up to 14 Keshiks with 8 traders to support this. I actually think Kiljardi just backs off and goes castle. Like, credit to him, CSO is defended, right? But you've already got a lot of Keshiks. Going castle isn't exactly scary for you. And with Kurotai, you have an edge in these fights. This isn't your standard 20 to 30 Lombo build out of the Byzantines at this stage. They have barely got 10 together. And there we go, yeah. Correct read by Kiljardi. I think denting this base loses them the game. He's showing the appropriate respect. CSO has done a great job defending against these pushes. Golden Horn Tower is now in the way. But the Kurotai mirror is going to be big. And keep in mind, Kiljardi already has more than enough stone to go for the pack-up tech. Love to see him start getting into that now. Oh, sorry, wood and gold for it, right? Improved tech, I think this is a big deal. Whistling arrows get slept on way too often. Attack speed with this is insane. Set a 12-second advantage. Remember, you reduce your attack speed down from 1.62 to about 0.8, or let's round it up to 1. So 1, with the attack speed arrow, the difference in having Whistling Arrow improved here is basically an extra 7 attacks. Which is wild. Love this, man. I think Kiljardi on average has some of the clean timings I've seen with superior mobility and tech. I've seen a lot of players just kind of be a little bit late, and it's really important because Kurotai gives an opening, an insane opening, by the way. You can do so much damage in the first 40 seconds of attack with this. This is Castle Age Light. And the cool thing about it is while most civs tech up and have to wait for veterancy, you don't have to. If you have this Kurotai moving in range, you can go for a fight in the mid. And if not, when you take a fight near the enemy base, you're going to have Vet and Kurotai. At which point, it's not a Castle Age Light, it's an Imperial Age Light. So, play now coming in is correct, by the way. Limitane needs to be the pull. Horseman's kind of intriguing. I guess you're up against archers. Vet Horseman with armor is a decent front line. The Limitane is how CSO wins or loses this game, though. I'm glad he didn't go Varangian. Like, this is one of those matchups where Varangian just doesn't make sense. Your opponent already has so much heavy cav. And there we go. My boy. Kiljardi knows where it's at. I've seen a lot of Kurotai games recently where people just kind of forget Whistling Arrows, and it's a really big deal. Even, like, just, you know, the duration aside, the extra range is also a big deal. Right? And because he went for the improved version, I said it was going to be 12 seconds. It's now 14. Now, I actually think in these type of fights, it might even be worth going for the armor because he has so many Keshiks. Remember, it's pretty powerful what you get out of the Khan. It's a +2 armor arrow on a unit that already now has 5 ranged armor, which means these Lombos and Archers will be doing 1 damage. Where is the Khan hiding? There he is. He's getting snug. Okay, look at that. Calming moment here. Looks like everyone is going to get their veterancies together. A second TC. Okay, so it kind of feels like CSO is expecting this game to slow down, which would be surprising. It's 15 traders. I think at this stage you just want to start attacking. Remember, if this goes into hyper late game, Byzantines are very cozy. Mongols feels bad. Is the Khan arrow time bugged? What, on all of them, Kiljadi? I think whistling arrow on attack speed works correctly, right? But you might be correct on defense arrow. Defense arrow doesn't feel like it lasts as long. I think it's all. It does extend it though, right? It just doesn't. Do you think? I'd have to test this. Like, the duration is definitely longer. You might be right. It often doesn't feel like 14 seconds. Maybe it's 12. Maybe the improve doesn't work correctly. Surprised neither are going for the relics. I don't know if Kiljadi really needs it. Not even close to 14. Now that you mention it, I think that's right. I haven't like watched it and counted it, but you're correct. It feels like it. It's interesting the way that that kind of detail comes. Like quite often you don't count it, you feel it, right? Like I think we were talking the other day about French Knights versus Mounted Samurai. Is something felt off, and Lucifron highlighted the other day that Mounted Samurai, when the deflective armor takes the charge from French Knights don't get the damage buff. And then as soon as I heard that, it's like now it makes even more sense why this felt off. So I think you're right. I'll have to see. Is this going to be counting with Pigeon? Probably. Love this. Yam coming in. And a forward outpost is going to enable it, so you can have double aura on the edge of your opponent's base. The reason why Kiljadi isn't rushing is because CSO has to come out soon. He doesn't have long-term gold access, right? As has been mentioned, the relics aren't being played for. He hasn't got gold to work with in the corner. Remember, the way that Frisian's designed, you kind of get pushed out your base quickly. And it's a double gold spawn, so like realistically, Kiljadi could look to start fighting over this. And with Mangoes, he could even walt the first villagers to arrive. I do think Kiljadi would benefit from going monks now, and it's not even about the relics, it's about the sacred sites. You want to panic CSO a little bit. You don't even want to give him the rope to hide in the corner. These outposts. Man, this is suffocating. You actually can't make a move in this game as CSO without being seen. Trade is at what? 18. It's payday, baby. We got another level in, so everything is being gathered now. Man. He's going imp, isn't he? Okay, that's kind of wild. What do you think about Khanate here? I guess Khanate kind of sucks because you're already popped, right? Like, Khanate is really nice when you rush it, but you're so deep in eco, I think you just go for the natural. White Stupid does work here. That also gives you the stone for cannon emplacements to make these fights harder. Allows you to get the additional techs, which, I mean, there's a few here, right? Like, I think Military Academy Improved is really nice in these type of games. And I think the obvious one that usually gets slept on has to be the Unitex. This is kind of insane. It's kind of crazy how often we just don't see it at the moment because people don't play into Imp. But for everyone saying Mongol Imp is weak, in some ways yes, in some ways no. Like, if you stockpile the stone, if you get deep in that Imp, it feels really good. The biggest issue usually is you can't stonewall, so kind of hunkering down for 1,000 stone takes way too long. And it's going to be White Stupa, so on the way up now. Movement coming out, keep droppers in, but you can see the tech time is going to be substantially slower for the Byzantines here. And remember, guys, if you just prep shot trigger straight away, come in for the improved on a delay, there's no way Byzantines can ever fight you in siege. Movement coming out from CSO, but he's fighting into the Kurotai here. He's also rocking it blind. He doesn't know about the Mangoes just yet, and the tech up is confirmed. CSO, a bit hesitant. He's going to get more hesitant with this coming in. Mango shot to the deep. Big hit. Kurotai giving the buff damage here. And it is a substantial damage buff at that. +2, but that's +6 overall in an AoE. That's before we talk about bonus damage. Remember, Kurotai is unique. It buffs bonus damage as well. Good dodge, CSO. Having to start taking this fight. Kiljadi looking to pressure it. Sprinals are going to move in. An easy trade for him. The Mangoes on each side still alive for the moment, but the Sprinal advantage is now there for Kiljadi. Attack speed arrow did get activated. How long has it been lasting here, though? Oh, sorry, it's the defense arrow. Okay, he's right. I heard the timing on that. That was about 7 to 8 seconds maximum. It is definitely not giving you a full 14 seconds. That's kind of wild, actually. Wait. Can someone double check the tooltip? It does say +7, right? But I'm wondering if it's Whistling Arrows becomes 7. I'm checking it now. That's actually a really big difference. Yeah, so it says it increases the Khan's duration by 7 seconds. But I actually think it increases it to 7 seconds. That's a really big bug. Either the tooltip is wrong, or the skill is bugged. Because that then also means the improved one is pointless. But, like, can someone go back and check the VOD on the count? That felt like 7 seconds of defense arrow. You heard the timing. You could hear the sing. The default duration is 5. That makes Whistling Arrow still good, but really underwhelming compared to what it's meant to be. So you basically get 2 extra seconds, and you pay... I think Whistling Arrows is like $3.50 maybe? Wait, is default 2? Okay, dude, the whole thing's bugged then. That's kind of yikes. You know what? I actually think if they fix that, Mongols is really strong again. That makes a lot of sense now, right? It's kind of crazy. We'll probably get to see it again in another fight, and then we can get the perfect count. Tech up is on the way, but this game feels like it's about to already be over. The only upside right now for CSO is that there is not any of these techs, right? Elite Army Tactics, Incendiary Arrows, none of this stuff is in. But the Bombards now, with the juiced up damage. Kurultai front lining is also absorbing all the fire. That's not dying anytime soon. Foreign Engineering Company, not likely to change too much. Remember, Nestor Bees isn't going to feel great here with Spring Ults ready to counter. And the count should be pretty damn good, right? We're going up to 5 Spring Ults. He has already got the shutter triggers. The Byzantines do not have the gold to get all their techs either. They need this gold right here. Hence why Killjadi's pushing it. Tech up now complete. Killjadi pulls the villagers for repair. Not really that necessary. Castle goes down, and this game, moments from being over here because CSO has no gold. He's not getting any anytime soon. Keshiks are blocking a rotation out on the west side, keeping him pinned in. Coming in. Can't. I'm a 450 health unit. Fight me. Okay, chill. You guys got bows. Moves in with the Kurultai. Defense arrow gets activated. So this has been... I want to say that's 7 seconds so far. 8, 9. I think it's 8 or 9 seconds total. Yeah, okay. So I think Killjadi's right. If the default is lasting 2 seconds, it's increasing by the correct amount. But the base is wrong, and the base is gone here, man. Bugs aside, Killjadi showing you why his Mongols is such an overwhelming threat here. He takes the set 3-2. He boots CSO out of Red Bull Wololo. Now, as we know, unfortunately, deeper in the tournament did not go well for Killjadi, but I think everyone can agree he should be proud of a top 6 finish, his best performance in the end in any S-tier event in Age of Empires 4, and I'm sure plenty more to come.